Okay, y'all, I got all my peaches peeled and I threw in a whole stick of butter in here. And there she is. And it'll be boiling just a little bit. Now, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to let those peaches cook in that water for a while. That's going to make some really good peach broth, and that butter in it's going to be so good. And then I'm going to go over to my big sugar thing, and I'm going to start with a cup of sugar and mix it in after, after this melts and it's cooked a while. I don't ever put my sugar in it first. Makes it too thick or something. And so now, when I put the sugar in, I stir it and good, let it get all melted. I'm going to taste it. I'm going to taste the broth. If it does not have enough sugar, then I'm putting some more. So it's according to how many peaches you're doing and how big a thing it is and all like that. And that determines how much sugar you're going to use. But anyway, I've got that stick of butter in there. And it's beginning to boil in there. It's going to be super good. And here's our squash Alabama. And there's our sweet potato casserole. And there's our green beans. And our pork loin is in the oven. What a feast we're having today. I'll probably be eating it all week, won't I? Be back in a minute. All right, we're fixing to make our dumplings to go in our pie. But you can make these same dumplings to go in chicken and dumplings or ham and dumplings or blackberry cobbler, whatever you want to make. But this is what we're doing today. Where's my light? Y'all can't even see. Hold on a minute. Let me get my light over here. Now, is that better? Is that better? All right, so here it is. Same book. Here's the step by step on that side, what to do. Over here is your recipe. And so it is saying to you in the recipe to put in 3 cups of white lily all-purpose flour sifted. 3 cups. I put in 3 cups, but I used 2 cups of all-purpose and I put 1 cup of self-rising. I wanted to be a little bit fluffier today. 1 cup of buttermilk, and that's approximate, okay? And then 1/2 cup of solid grease. And so I just decided for my grease today, I'd use butter, okay? That's what I'm doing. All right, so here we go. Y'all want me to measure this out just in case I use more. If you like me to do that, I will. Hold on, let me get a measuring cup. Okay, I've been cooking all my life, so I don't necessarily measure. I just go more by feel, look, and smell than I do measuring. But there's 1 cup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start mixing it with my grease. And I'm going to put a little bit of buttermilk in at a time, okay? So you can use any kind of grease you want to use. All right, here I go. I don't know if I'll use all of it or not. I'm telling you what, this makes some good dumplings. And if you're asking me, how do I not gain weight eating all this stuff like this? Because I eat real food, that's why. I eat real food. This is real food. This is real butter, real flour, real buttermilk. It's not those things that you buy in boxes at the grocery store. It's got all those chemicals in it and all this stuff you don't even know what it is. Eat real food, y'all, and you'll be fine. Those are real peaches over there in that pot. And that's real sugar. It's not artificial sugar, it's real sugar. And those were real squash I put in there, and a real onion. The only thing I used that wasn't really real was that cheese. But I don't cook it that much, so. All right. It's looking pretty good. We got this much more milk left. Let's put a little bit more in. We'll see how close the recipe is. All right. I'm gonna put a little bit more. So we only got a little bit of tad left in the bottom. Y'all see that? If you don't like buttermilk, you can use sweet milk and you can use water. If you're trying to really save, you can use water to do this. But since water and sweet milk are thinner than buttermilk, you just better put yours in just a little bit at a time. Because if you don't, you'll get too much liquid in there. All right, there's our bowl. Now I'm fixing to try to get this into a dumpling shape. Let me get it off my fingers first. And what we're going to need to do is you're always supposed to have your little flour out there. A little flour out there to work it. So let me go ahead and get me some. I'll put it in this little bowl right here. Uh-oh. Now then, let's get it over here. All right, so here's our flour. What I'm going to just do just a little bit. That helps you to get it into the shape that you want, okay? You got to work dumplings a little while. It's not like a biscuit. All right, it's coming together, y'all. It's coming together. My mother used to make, we'd go to the, my aunt had a blackberry patch, and it was in the cow pasture when I was a little girl. And the cows wouldn't eat the blackberries, but they'd eat all that old tall grass around the blackberries. They just were growing wild out there in that pasture. And so when the cows cleaned up the pasture real good, you could see. And you could just go out there and just get all those blackberries and make you a blackberry cobbler. All right, I'm going to turn these off. I think they're done. In a minute, we're fixing to put in the sugar. And we're going to taste it and see how much we need. You know, blackberries are sour, and so are peaches. So that's why you've got to taste it over there and see what you really need, okay? Work your dumpling dough real good. Put some muscle behind it and push and shove. I'm getting my exercise for today, I can tell you that. When we roll it out, if it's sticking to the surface here, then that means you're going to have to put a little flour on your surface and kind of start over. But, you know, with the flour, put a little more flour on it. All right, there it is. See how easy that was? It's just a point of putting some muscle in it, y'all. There's nothing to it. You could use this dough for chicken and dumplings. It's in your book. Just go by the recipe. Just because I don't go by the recipes every time, that's because I've been doing it for 60 years or longer. Well, longer than that. I'm 78, so I've been cooking since I was young. My mother, she kept me in the kitchen with her. So you mamas, y'all need to be getting those kids in that kitchen. All right, let's roll her out. Here's how I'm going to roll it out. I'm going to roll it out in two separate things, okay? Let me move this. Well, we might need a little bit on our surface. There we go. All right, here we go. Oh, and always flour your rolling pin, too. I forgot to tell you that. All right, now that I've got it about even, I'm going to cut it in half right here and roll this out separately because this is a reason, because we're going to make it really thin and it's going to cover the whole top of my chopping block over here. Let me see this. I need some hair. I'm burning up. All right, we're getting it pretty thin. I smell our pork roast cooking. Our pork loin. All right, you want this as thin as you can get it, like paper thin. You don't want a thick dumpling in there because if you have it thick, it takes longer to get done, and then your juice is cooked away. All right, let's check, see if it's sticking. No, it's not sticking, and that's what you want to do. Check it, just to make sure. And it doesn't have to be in a circle either, because you're fixing to cut it up anyway. And this is a good workout for your arms and your upper body. Every time you move, you're burning calories. Every time you move, you're working your muscles. So cooking is a good, if you cook like from scratch, because you're over there peeling and you're picking up meat, you're picking up skillets and doing all this stuff, bringing in your groceries, that's a chore, isn't it? I wish I could hire one of the little boys at the grocery store to come put my groceries up for me. I don't like to do that. Do y'all? Try to find somewhere to put everything. All right, y'all, that's it. I think that's thin enough. Let's check it and see. And we've got this other whole thing over here. So if you're making a little pie, use this dumpling dough recipe. Put these in your pie, and you can roll that out for a crust of the dumplings if you wanted to. I mean the pie. All right, so take your spatula or your knife or something. Here's a little pie server. I guess I can cut it with this. I don't see my spatula that I have. All right, so you just want to cut it thin like this. Let's check and see if it's thin enough. We got to put our sugar in there too. All right, and then cut the other way. And these don't have to be perfect either. Well, there went our rolling pin, and it unplugged the light. Or turned the light. Let me get my rolling pin back up. Put it in the sink. All right, so let's check one and see if it's thin enough. It's fair. It's not thin as I really like it. I like it like this. I like it like that thin. All right, so let's come over here and let's do this. Let's put our sugar in and do our taste test first. All right, we're going to start with a cup. A cup of sugar. I'm going to get a measuring cup. We're going to figure this thing out. So that y'all will know. All right, here it is. All right, here we go. All right, here's 1 cup of sugar. We'll turn it back on. I'm going to stir it around, and I'm going to taste it. Okay, we're tasting to see if it has enough sugar. It does not have enough sugar. I'm going to put in another cup. That's it. That is it. Now what I'm going to do is you bring this to a boil and you drop your dumplings in. So when it gets to a boil, you come back and we're going to put our dumplings in. Okay, our dumpling dough is ready and our dumplings are boiling. And all of our juice in there. You see there? All right, so now we're going to be able to drop them in. You want to drop them in at a full boil, which now it is. All right, I drop mine in like this. I just do it with my spatula, and that way I can drop in a bunch at one time. That's how I do it, but y'all do it however you want to. And by the way, we're only going to need half of that dough that I fixed. Half of it is plenty for this pie. You don't want to put in so many that you don't have any juice left. They're going everywhere. This will be plenty. I like the juice as good as anything. I bought a gallon of ice cream. So when we eat out, we're going to put this in a little bowl and we're going to put ice cream on top. You talking about delish. Oh my goodness. It's going to be delish. If it looks like it's getting too thick in there and you haven't got any juice, put your little extra water. Just a little bit in there because you want that juice. That's the good part. All right, about through. This is about all of it. All right, that's it. That is it. Now, it's not going to take these dumplings long to cook. I'd say like 5 to 8 minutes or something like that. Take one out and see how it tastes. And that's all you do. That's it. Now, that isn't hard. That is not hard. And here they are in the pot, boiling. And so I'm going to leave it on high for about 5 minutes, then I'm going to turn it off. Here's the dough that was left. Now, if you're at home and you're doing yours, take this dough and roll it out real thin. Pour all that into a casserole dish. Roll this out, put it on top, spear a little butter on it, and a little sugar, and put it in the oven till this gets done, because that'll be done. And you can serve it in a casserole dish. That's what I did last time. But I ain't got time today. I ain't got time. We're just going to eat dumplings and juice and peaches. That's what we're going to eat. Y'all have a great day, and make you some cobbler, some kind of cobbler. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. And have you some peaches in it and some dumplings. It's a lot of good juice. And that'll be a good thing. All right. Love y'all. Bye.